Okay, this is Kean University. This is the end of the semester, end of the 2020 fall semester. And the first thing I want to show you is how to properly pedal, because I've heard some people pedal, and I think we have to get this right. So if you take your scale sheets out, and you go 2 pages before the end, there's a circle of fifths at the end, and then there's something that says pedal exercises, pedal exercises. So it's very simple. You have 2 chords here, C and F, 3 beats each, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pedaling is the opposite of what your hands do. So my foot's down. When I hit down, my foot comes up, and then immediately down. It stays down until I hit the next chord, stays down. Listen to what happens if I don't do it correctly. If I do with my hands as I do with my foot, there's a break, If you leave it down, you'll have a mess. So, it's up, 2, 3, up, 2, 3, up. Hands come up, but not your foot. 2, 3, up, 2, 3, up, 2, 3. I want you to practice that, and if you're playing a piece that requires pedal, make sure you're pedaling like that. The scales, this week we're going to start the D flat scale. We're going to do the flat scales this week. So you're going to have D flat. I'll do it in class with you, which is on the remote. Then E flat, G flat, A flat, B flat. You all should have started D flat this week, and each time I hear you, we'll go on to the next scale. Now look, when you play flat key scales, it's the same fingerings all the time. 4 is always on B flat, 3s are together, thumbs are together on the white keys F and C. You'll see all the similarities as you go. It's not hard. But the arpeggio is very, very different. The arpeggio is no longer 1, 2, 3, 5. It's 4, 1, 2, 4. 4, 1, 2, 4. Whether it's D flat, E flat, A flat, all of them. There's different fingerings. The left hand is 2, 1, 4, 2. 2, 1, 4, 2. So throw out the window all those 1, 2, 3, 5. See, there's no more of that. So check the fingerings out very carefully. I'll go over it with you each time I see you. At the final, we'll have the shaker's theme, which you already have, the shaker's theme from the last video. You'll have all the scales. We'll pick 1 or 2, and we'll have a solo from the Essentials book, and that'll be your final exam, actually. Okay, so let's go through this now. So in the Alfred book, we went up to page, let's do page 163. Page 163. Okay, I think I'm correct. 163. We did 152 and 153. So now we're doing 163. So here's 163. Key of F. I went over all this with you, by the way, at the lesson. Then it's a B flat chord, and it's a C7 chord. So those are the 3 chords. It's a 1, 4, 5 chord. Sounds like this. Left hand keeps time. Left hand keeps time. So up to that point, the left hand's keeping time, but in the next to the last measure, so you have time to prepare from here to here, because you have a rest in between those. So, kind of bluesy, like a B flat 9 chord, flat 7. I think some of you know what I mean. Okay, next is the study, the little Bayer study. The left hand is just, then there's an F chord. next to the last measure is an F chord and a C sus4. If you haven't had a sus chord, it's very simple. You take a major chord, C, E, G, you lift the third out of it, but you put the fourth in, which is C, F, G, and it resolves, like an amen cadence. Like a church cadence. Okay? So that's a sus4. There's a sus2 also. If I lift the third and I put the second in, sus4. It's like in pop music. Suspensions. You hear it all the time in rock ballads, constantly. So here's the way the study sounds. By the way, here's a perfect place to use your pedal. And since that's all the same chord, you don't have to change pedal too much. But once you play this, you don't use pedal. You don't use pedal in scale passages. You always use a pedal in chordal or arpeggiated passages, but never in a scale passage. So it'll sound like this. Now listen. Here's the last two measures. You don't hear it, but if I play them as chords, you do. Okay, so that's the way this goes. After page 163 will come page 175. And this is the Kumbaya, the famous Kumbaya. Everybody knows this song, I think. So, it's very simple. Key of D, you have a G chord, and you have that little fictitious fake A7 chord, because the fifth is missing. Always block out what you're going to do with your left hand. Get that left hand so it knows just what to do. Then it'll sound like this. I'm going to pedal it now. You can hear it. It tells you where to pedal. Right here, you'll see at measure 11, it has 4, 5. That's called the silent exchange. While you're playing 4, while the left hand's moving, you replace the 4 with a 5. So you're ready to play 4 on G. So you have 4 on A, replace it with 5, and get ready for 4. So I'm going to start at measure 9, the pickups to 9. 4, change. And that's what will happen there. So that gives you practice in silent exchange. The bottom one, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3. That's all it is. Ba, ba, rest, ba, ba. I'll do it slow though. Now the left hand continues with, but the right hand has a melody. Sounds like this. Slower. Okay, that's page 175. And the last one that we'll ever do in this book in Piano 2 will be 191. Little fantasy study by Rowley. And this is just a 5-finger study. The purpose of this is to try to go as fast as you can. You're going to practice it. But some of you may be able to go. Some can go. Whatever you can do. I'm going to play it at a moderato tempo. Vivace means fast. It actually means lively, but the connotation of vivace is faster than allegro. And it's lively and fast. But I'll play an average tempo for you. Key of A minor. How do I know it's an A minor? Because I see this piece is loaded with G sharps. It also has F sharps to almost make it a melodic minor, if you know what I mean. So here's the way it'll sound. Left hand, by the way, here's a sus4. You have A minor. The second chord is this. And it resolves always right back. The other way to look at it is that this is part of an E7 chord and the A is a pedal point. If you were in music theory and you had a very important test, it depends who your teacher is, I guess, but it could be a suspension, it could be an E7 with an A pedal point. You're going to have to label these things someday. Just so you know, most of the time there's more than one way to skin a cat. So here's the way this sounds. 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2. This time, I'm starting on measure 17. When you see the accent, I'm going to really accent it, and this is what we should have done all along. This is backwards now, instead of, it's backwards. This is an exercise in making your fingers even. You can find out if your fingers are even on wood. Listen. If I play it fast. If you're not slapping, you'll hear nothing. You'll hear nothing. Okay? So make sure your fingers are coming down hard. No arm, never this, or never that. Just your fingers. That's the book. We're not doing anything more in this book. Okay, now let's look at the pieces I want you to learn in the essential. We're doing page 94 right now. Let me play 94 for you, and there's only going to be one more to play, and that'll be it for this book as well. Let's see. 94. Okay. So, page 94. I don't have the other one. I'm going to have to find it. Okay. So there's 94. Oh, so this is 94, and the other one, the next one's going to be on 125, I believe. Let me make sure what I'm saying. And you'll love this next one. Yeah, 125. But first, let's do 94. So this sounds like bagpipes. It sounds like the drone. That's what a musette is. It's a Scottish piece. And if you think of like a bagpipe just blowing out of the bag, those fifths, those open fifths that you hear all the time. So, but musette, the actual muse is amusement. It means this is an amusing piece. So if you play it fast, I'm not asking you to play it fast. This is how it should be. For those who can, I would love to hear that. But I'll settle for this. Soft. Loud. delayed cadence. It's a very nice little ending. Certainly nobody expected it. It's a really very unique and creative ending. So, those staccatos, you must get articulations before you walk into a piano 3 class. Okay, and then it was 193, I think I said. Forgot the page already. 123. 123. Now, don't get scared when you see this. It looks like something you get. No, it's not 123. It's 125. 125. Yeah, it's called a scherzo. A scherzo is a musical joke. It's a joke. It's a fun piece. See, it says vivo, which is fast. Vivo is faster than vivace. Giocoso, jokingly. So it's supposed to be a joke, a musical joke. And Kavalevsky wrote a lot of children's pieces just to have fun. Now listen real carefully. If you listen to this next 1 minute of what I have to say, the piece is a piece of cake. Put your fingers over the notes. Notice that there's 2 treble clefs. So the notes are E, G, B. Not down here, but E, G, B. And whatever your left thumb ends on, your right thumb picks up on the next note and plays its chord. So this outlines a chord, and this is a chord, and the rhythm is. So get that first measure down very slowly. This moves up 1. Goes back to where you started. Goes down 1. Goes back where you started. Down to D. Down to C. And a must cadence, here's your D, and then this chord. BDFA. It's a half diminished 7 chord, right? Or a D6, but not really, more like a half diminished. So, let me play the whole thing for you. I won't play it fast though. Crescendo, crescendo, diminish. Sounds hard? It's absolutely easy. Wherever your left hand plays, your right hand picks up with the next note. Just play the whole measure together. And then break them up. You see what I'm doing? There's a chord on the bottom and a chord on top. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. And that's it. So that covers everything we're going to do right through the end of the semester, whether it's the end of November or early December. It depends how the class does, as I hear you. But you have to do all these. And get going with those flat scales. Simple gifts, and that's it. We're all set. Okay? And I'll see you all next week.